In which I don't understand how any celebrity even gets married, especially somebody that's pushing $1 billion. How do you even get married? For what and why? There's no incentive. But all right, what I want to talk about is how does that equate to violence in Chicago, divorce and violence in Chicago? Well, I'm gonna tell y'all why. It's like 87% of the jail inmates come from what? A broken home. 90% of the high school dropouts come from what? A broken home. The juveniles, the drug dealers, the gang members, the children killed, the killers, every negative statistic share one common denominator, and that is that they come from a broken home. There's no sugarcoating. Every YouTuber I watch, every activist I watch is scared to hit this topic. I'm not. I'm tired of sugarcoating this shit in our community. We are afraid of accountability. I'm against welfare, the welfare system. I'm against child support. And I'm against this is why so much divorce is happening. Because we're getting so much incentives. Oh, we'll give you child support. Oh, we'll give you alimony. The first time you F up, she gone. In the 50s, we had a 91% two-parent household, and they all stayed married for 40 and 50 years. And I'm gonna tell you why. There was no incentives to get divorced. Now, what we're saying is, oh, okay, you wanna divorce him? Cool, we'll give you link, welfare, child support. You don't ever have to work a day in your life, sweetheart. Go ahead and leave him. And the first time you mess up, she done took a vow to till death do us part. And the first time he F up, bing, I'm gone. Why would any celebrity even want to get married? How do we equate divorce to violence? Jobs, for my skin is my sin. What's going on, bro? What do you got to say about this topic?
I mean, in their particular case, bro, they've been married for 24 years. So she done took a lot of this nigga shit.
Right.
You know, like, I'm pretty sure she is not, you know, it was not just one incident and she like, I'm out of here. I'm absolutely certain, without knowing those two, but I'm absolutely certain that he been fucked up on numerous occasions.
Okay.
Now, after 24 years, it's totally different how I'm looking at things as opposed to after 2 years. If they'd have been married for 2 years and she gets half, I got a problem with that. But 24 years, like, he was not even close to what he's making now, 24 years ago. So she done gave him a lot of counsel, a lot of advice, a lot of she didn't struggle with the man, you know, he didn't switch, you know, from one label to another label, you know, she done went through a lot of shit with this man. So I can't really be mad that she gonna get half of his loot, and this nigga is not about to be struggling. It's not like he's about to go back to square one and be living in Compton. He's still gonna have like $500 million in the bank. So if you can't eat off of that, man, and you complaining about it, shut up. Like, she gave you almost a quarter of a good life.
You know, so their kids are 19. Years? Their kids are 19 and 20, 19 and 23. 19 and 23. Their kids are grown. And I could dig 60% is, but yeah, I'm definitely with you. I'm definitely with you that she definitely deserves a percentage. A percentage. But damn, more than what he has, they're giving her 60, they're talking 60% more than they're saying, okay, we're gonna give more than what you've earned. And I get it, you know, she didn't work. Of course.
That's his fault, though.
That's his fault.
You wanted it that way, bro. You knew you was in California. You had an attorney at the time that y'all got married. You could have went and got married in Colorado. You could have went and got married in New Mexico. Like, each state is totally different as far as, you know, and I don't know if, I guess it makes a difference where you file a divorce. So that might not, you know, be correct. But each state is different as far as the divorce laws and how much each person can get.
Hey, my thing is this. All right, so cool. How come? So why are we seeing so much divorce and the divorce rate goes sky high today? Because we're given so many incentives on leaving. If you get married today, it don't make no sense to get married today. It doesn't. It's way too many incentives for a female to leave you. And not, and let's exclude Dr. Dre. Let's talk the average person that has a child with a female gets married. He want to do the right thing. If she ain't got no job, let's say she working at McDonald's somewhere, and you got a good job, and you get married, you do the right thing. The first time she get tired of you, she leaving you. How does that come back to the violence in Chicago? Well, we talking 90% of all the negative statistics share the exact same common denominator, that they come from a single home. How did we get the violence in Chicago? What they did was this. They broke down the family structure first. Divide and conquer. They took out the father from the home. That was the first step. Divide the family up. Now we could destroy them. And that's exactly what happened. So how do you divide the family up? You give the woman incentives on leaving him. So now, back in the 50s and 60s, ask anybody that's 60, 70 plus. All of them was married for 40, 50, 60 years.
That shit wasn't all good,
because it wasn't incentives. Now, I done seen couples, they wanted to kill each other for 5 to 10 years. If they were together 40, 50 years, they was tired of each other. But they stayed together. It was cheaper to keep her back then, as the slogan would say. But now, a female want to leave you, she get child support, alimony, and if she don't make enough, she get welfare, link, taxes, every incentive to leave you. It ain't no reason to get married, especially for celebrities. They dumb as hell if they do get married. That's bananas to me. But how does that equate back to the violence in Chicago? You break down the family, you break them down, and it's happened. And that's what I'm seeing. I see the breakdown of the family as the biggest problem in our community.
I mean, like, first off, I don't think it's dumb to get married, whether you're a celebrity or not. Nobody wants to die alone. And having somebody that completes you, it sounds corny, but it's so fucking dope. Like, if you've ever really truly loved somebody, and more importantly, you've had somebody that you felt truly loved you, you understand. So I'm not mad at anybody getting married. And I'm not mad at the fact that he didn't have a prenup, because that inherently is saying I'm marrying somebody, but. And if you are going to marry somebody, it shouldn't be a but. So, it's a lot of people like, well, he should have had a prenup.
But you could guarantee as soon as she get tired of your ass, that butt, she gonna rape your ass. I'm 40. And I know you're a little bit older than me, bro. And I get what you're saying. But I done seen a female cry tears over me on Sunday about how much I love you, and wake up Monday and want me dead, want me destroyed, and would do anything in her power to destroy me within 24 hours. I ain't going through that again, bro. I can't.
I mean, I didn't also seen a nigga beat the brakes off a chick and then buy her flowers the next day. So like, it ain't just like we making it seem like it's these women out here. Like, most of the, if it's not about money, most divorces are about money. But if it's about infidelity, it's generally speaking, that's the dude fucking up. That's him being married to a doctor and fucking some broad in the projects. Like, we don't even fuck chicks that are better than our wives. We always get caught fucking down. So like, you can't sit up here and blame like I'm just not into it. Like, I've seen a lot of niggas over my years fuck up really good relationships, myself included, doing dumb shit. So I'm not, it's hard for me to get on my high horse and be like, well, it's all the woman's fault. It's all the woman's fault. And I know that's our tendency as men, because we got to look out for each other, but it ain't. It ain't just always women's fault. We just assume that a woman should take whatever bullshit that we throwing out there forever.
All right, so then let me tell you something. I'm not saying that it's the woman's fault, but the court system definitely has made it in the woman's ball court. every 100% of the time, child support court, they're gonna rule in the woman's ball court. 100%, most of the time of the child custody, unless she's a horrific mother and you got solid evidence that she's a horrible mother, it's always gonna go in the woman's ball court. And when it comes to divorce, it's going 75% of the divorces are initiated by who? The woman. All right, now how does it come back to the black family and the black family breakdown? We got 73 to 90% single parent households. Where are all the negative statistics out of the black community come from? Those single parent households. When you talk about the violence in Chicago, as an IT specialist, I got to go back to the root of the cause. Okay, we know that 97% of the negative statistics come from a single parent household. All right, let's take it a step further. How did we have a 97%? How did we have a 73 to 91% single family household? What did they introduce from the late 50s to the 70s when this problem was introduced? We got welfare, child support, alimony, and spousal support. That what was introduced within those 15 years increment of the breakdown of the black family. Now, a lot of people say, wait a minute, Donald, like child support. A lot of people say, wait a minute, wait, you gonna let them off the hook? You gonna let them off the hook? You gonna let them off the hook? No. Why the hell are you gonna put them on the hook? Before child support, ask somebody that's 75 plus or from any other country. You can ask a Nigerian, and if there's any Nigerians or anybody from any other country on this feed, chime in. I asked somebody 75 plus, excuse me, what did y'all do before child support? And she laughed at me. She said, wait a minute, I couldn't just lay down with anybody. Before I laid down and have a child with, had to have a ring too. He had to chase me for 2 years. She said, look, he chased me for 2 years. I had to make sure he really wanted it. And he had to bring a ring with him that he's going to be there for the rest of his life. You know, and it was about better decision making first. Now what we're seeing is babies being made by just any damn body. And so, yeah, drugs also played a part in it too, as far as the breakdown of the family, mass incarceration. But drugs was a big part in the 70s, no question. Systemic racism, definitely, that's ties into mass incarceration. I do understand those things, definitely, but I want to talk about the breakdown of the family and how do we get to it. Because without incentives on leaving in divorce and to leave him, you had to make it work. I watched couples that was fed up with each other, but they still made it work because if she left with nothing. Which is bad, but it was an incentive to, okay, let's work this out for our family.
But isn't that the pendulum swinging completely in the other way? And I'm gonna tell you why. And my grandmother and I'll give my grandparents. My grandfather was by all accounts a really shitty motherfucker to her. She didn't have no driver's license. She didn't have no job, and she had 9 kids. Okay. She had no opportunity. You know, they didn't stay together because she loved that nigga. They stayed together because he had all the power. He had the juice, and she didn't have any choice but to take the bullshit that nigga was throwing out. Is that help for your children?
Say what?
Is that healthy for your children? Like what's worse? You know, like y'all getting divorced with that situation and her getting some money from him, or them staying in a really toxic ass relationship and showing 9 people who are then gonna have children and wives and husbands of their own how to have a really fucked up relationship.
What did that do for you? All right, what did that do for you? Now, what does that do for your child? I'm dropping phrase. Anyway, what did that do for you and your family when it's about the kids? When you lay down and have 2, 3 kids, those children need that father. Those children need that mother, no question. And what we're doing, man, is collectively, and this ain't just women, this ain't men, this is all of us collectively. Broken households. First time somebody mess up, we gone. We'll stay for a year or 2, we gone. It's too much incentives to leave. It's way too much incentives to leave. It's no incentives on, okay, cool, how do we work this out? There was a female that told me, Donald, I ain't working this out with my baby daddy. He ain't got to see the kids. Just have my check in the mail. And now I'm like, why don't you go to court? She's like, F him. I went to court because I don't want to deal with him. I just want my check in the mail, F him. So now she didn't have to work out nothing with her baby daddy. She didn't have to be civil with him. So she fought with him for 12, 13 years. Child never got to see the father. Tell anybody on this live, statistically show what that child more than likely will become. A statistic.
Now, in that scenario, I agree with you.
There's no incentive. I go to court, and all the fellas on this live that's ever been to a child support court, I sat in the child support court and listened to all these other cases. And women walking up there and men, it's deadbeat men and deadbeat women. It's both on both sides. I watched women go up there and say, the judge would be like, excuse me, ma'am, why don't you want him to see his child? Oh, I don't know. Ma'am, did he do anything to you that you don't want him to see his child? No. Did he do anything to his child that you don't want him to see his child? No. So why don't you want him to see his child? I don't know. Okay. Women holding children for years just because they think it's funny.
Bruh,
And the
I
court
got two
system
baby
backs them.
I got two baby mamas, bro.
Okay.
My first baby mama is an absolute motherfucking nutcase. I knew that bitch was a nutcase from day one before I busted up in her. The sex was just fucking phenomenal. After having the child, she became more of a nutcase, but it was no surprise to anybody. Like, I knew this shit. So anything that transpired between her and I thereafter was completely my fault. Now, that don't happen in every case. I've seen a lot of brothers get taken to school. So you're right on that one. But some of it is actually just making bad decisions, because I made a conscious decision to choose a good mother the second time and have children with. You know, like, I watched her. She had a child already. And I made sure she was good people. And so when we broke up, I had that same experience. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little bit, it's not just so one-sided as you making it. Sometimes so you just make some fucked up ass choices.
Definitely. So somebody said, yeah, the breakdown of the family came when men stopped marrying the woman. Yes. What incentive for the man is there to marry a woman when you know?
That's a good point.
What is it? Where we at? 58% is going to end up in divorce. Not only are you going to get the 58% chance of being divorced, you're going to 90% chance of being taken to the fucking cleaners. Get married? Why? Explain it to me. Yes, she'll have your last name, but is there any other incentives outside of getting taken to the freaking cleaners and being destroyed mentally? So now let's see about the men in our. We're seeing an entire shift in the black family. Yeah. Men no longer have good jobs. Men are no longer getting jobs. It's a total shift. Women are making the most money. Women are taking care of the household. A lot of that is from a man's previous relationship being taken clean to the cleaners. He got what? Let's say even if he has a good job and he got 2 kids by someone else. Where is he being taken to? The cleaners. More than most of his check is swiped already. Granted, a lot of people got to make decisions on their own, and good decisions to take care of their children. What's going on, Donald? What's to it, sister? But go ahead, bro. Should celebrities get married? Why do celebrities get married?
If you was like Will Smith marrying Jada Pinkett was a good look. You know, he had some bread, but she also had some bread. Stop fucking with broke ass bitches if you got a lot of money, period. Stop entertaining that shit. Stop going to the strip clubs. You know she making $60,000 a year shaking her ass. You making $60 million a year doing movies. Why are you even looking at her? Period. Like you getting what you paying for. To be quite honest, you got to fuck with a woman that's actually there. Go mess with Taraji P Henson. Or was she married now? But in that lane, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't too many brothers out there with $60 million jobs a year, and it ain't too many sisters out there that's millionaires. So I'm pretty sure you can find somebody at least that got some bread. Stop fucking with broke people. If
Hey,
you
my
got
thing
bread,
is this too. Like, it's too much bitterness in relationships and people wanting revenge just because. Like, I watch statuses and they talking about, oh, what about your ex? If your ex was drowning, would you let him drown? I don't feel that way towards any ex. If we were on a different page, we were just on a different page. I don't see any means, any reasons to hate you or hate any ex. I'm still cool with damn near all of my exes. Just because we on a different page, that's cool. We could go our separate ways, but that don't mean I hate you. So many times in relationships where you see she gonna take them to the cleaners, and they probably just grew apart from each other. But that don't mean she got to take the man to the cleaners. And so you see revenge, viciousness from out of nowhere for no reason. For no reason, she's about to destroy. And if she could, I always tell people if they could go into another room and just kill you just by hitting the button, they would. I'd be like, where does that hate? Somebody could hate you and live with you.
I mean,
Somebody can hate
there's
you
a
and see you
thin
every
line
day.
between love and hate. Like it's the same energy and a really thin line.
Yeah, I don't see getting married. Shout out to my own girl Donna that's in the YouTube chat. She does relationships. She has a show. Make sure you guys subscribe to My Skin Is My Sins YouTube channel and my homegirl Donna, Just Being Real. She'll break it down to you about relationships. She's a relationship expert. In my opinion, she's amazing. If I'm a celebrity, ain't no way, no how I'm getting married. Out the question. Out the question. But we have to bring back black love for our communities, because I think that this equates to the violence coming back to our communities. The children, a lot of activists want to catch the kids after they 15. And if they 15 and they grew up in poverty, if they 15 and they grew up with no father to guide them and tell them, no, young brother, don't mess with them. They on some bullshit. Don't listen to them gangbangers on the corner. They ain't ish. Listen to me. You got a problem with somebody, knuckle up. Don't pick up a gun. It comes back to the home. We could blame Europeans or blame everybody else. We could blame everybody else. But it still comes back to the home. And we all know a broken home is more likely to become a broken young man. A broken home will more likely equate to a broken young man and a broken young woman. What does a broken young woman do? She's having sex. She's having a child with another broken young man. That broken young man, he leaves. He leaves her alone. She goes out there and that cycle continues. That cycle continues. There's no sentence on being married no more. There's only a sentence on getting divorced and leaving. So what we're seeing in the black community is divorce, is a broken union, broken childhood, broken kids that's killing each other. Every single one of those kids killing each other on the streets of Chicago, on the streets of everywhere, in our broken communities, equate as one common denominator, is that they all come from a broken home. All of them. How did we get to a broken home?
I mean, I don't think that Dr. Dre and his wife's kids is in danger of this shit, to be quite honest. I think, like yeah, you're right, the broken homes, but it's also the economics of the scenario, the involvement, the willingness of each partner to allow the estranged partner to still see their kids. Like my second one that I had kids with, We absolutely had no fucking problems at all. I could see my daughters whenever, and I did. I lived in another state. I would drive down there damn near monthly to go get my kids. Whatever they needed, I paid child support. I didn't trip on the child support because she was actually doing what the fuck she was supposed to do. I didn't have no problems paying the money. I had it rough a little bit financially, but I wasn't sleeping in my car. I wasn't destitute, and I was able to still maintain a whole nother motherfucking family. So I had no problem with that because she was doing what she was supposed to do. And we made an agreement that our children would come first. Period. And we didn't, I don't care who you sleeping with. She don't care who I'm sleeping with. We're going to have some respect for ourselves and for our children and for the fact that we raising these kids together. So I ain't, like some shit I didn't like, but I love my kids too much. Well, I'll say too much, but I love them more than what I hated about her.
Okay. All right. So the point, what I'm trying to get to is the point that where I'm trying to get to is this, you guys, is that in the African American community, we must be proactive versus reactionary. And what I mean by that, when you take away so many incentives on leaving, before you lay down, you make a very good decision. You like, wait a minute, I want to lay down with that person, but there's no welfare, ain't no child support, ain't no alimony, none of that. So before I lay down with them, I must find out, is he a great guy? Is he going to stay here forever? In the 50s, in the 60s, they stayed together 50, 60 years. Every one of y'all grandparents, every one of them, great-grandparents, they all stayed together. Every one of y'all watching this, all of your parents were together 50 and 60 years. How did that happen? Now, that particular case, so what I mean by that, there's a lady that I know. She's a Nigerian. Her name is Lola. And I asked her, and I send people to her. I was like, yo, we talk about this all the time. I say, hey, go ask Lola. Holla at Lola. She told me, Donald. She said, Donald, in my country, we didn't have welfare. Wasn't no child support, wasn't no alimony. She says, Donald, my husband chased me for over 2 years. She said, Donald, I had to make sure he was a freaking amazing guy. Wasn't no laying down with him a week, 2 weeks, and him running off. Because if that happened, she said my parents and her family paid for her to go to college. So her family made sure she wasn't out there freaking. Her family was like, oh, I gotta pay for you to go to college. You bet not walk in this motherfucking house with your belly sticking out. You bet not. I gotta pay for you to go to college and your ass out there freaking with a deadbeat. I would strangle your ass and I would disown your ass. Your ass better walk in here with a motherfucking ring, and whoever get it, he better put a freaking ring on it, and he better take your ass, you gone. When you walk in here with your bellies, you better make sure you lay down with a great guy. So what we got in America, in fact, if you watch the Chicago Way documentary, I interview a guy that lived most of his life in another country and lived his older half in this country. And he tells me the difference between our society and theirs, their culture and our culture. And he told me the same thing. He's like, Donald, what no welfare, so I couldn't just lay down with anybody. He was saying, man, I had to make sure, his wife and him was going to stay together forever. And it took 2-3 years to make that decision, because once you made that decision, you had to live with it forever. So now what we getting is just too much incentives to leave. So we'll just lay down with anybody. Oh, shit didn't work. Okay, cool. We'll make a kid. Then we'll go lay down. And it both. I'm not blaming women. I'm not blaming men. We both do this. We all doing this. We'll go lay down with a woman and seed her up. Lay down with another one, seed her up. Lay down with another one, seed her. And it's just, it's just, I don't know.
So let me ask you this. Go ahead. Like I'm just curious. Like you saying, what's the incentive for people to get married now? When was there ever an incentive for a man to get married? What was the incentive like for that guy in whatever country he was in? What was his reason or rationale? Just because he wanted to get some pussy? That was it?
That's one.
Okay.
That's
That's
why.
it. Because he moved here anyway. He could have moved here earlier and did that. Like, what's the actual incentive? Like, the way you making it is like there's no incentive at all for a man to get married ever.
Oh,
Never in the history.
But all right, so look, so in my documentary, I interviewed Nigerians. There was several that I knew, so I pulled them to the side and I asked them for interviews for my documentary. A lot of people told me, "Oh no, coach." I said, "Okay, cool. I'm interviewing somebody 75 plus." So the sister I interviewed, she told me, she was like, "Donald, the basketball captain wanted it. Wasn't no welfare, wasn't no child support. So if he ran off, she was like, my mother and my family was stuck with that baby, Pampers, diapers, milk." She was like, "Wasn't no way. I couldn't lay down with him." She said the football captain wanted it. He was 6'7", couldn't give it to him. Wasn't no welfare, because if he ran off, she was screwed. So she was like, "Oh no, hell no, I couldn't do it." He wanted it. She was like, "I was the finest thing." She was like, "I'll show you the pictures." She said, "But the cat that brought it had to chase me for over 2 years because I had to make for certain he was a great guy." And the key word is
Right.
had to. Not
But you're not
wanted
answering the
to.
question though.
But the key
If
word
that's
is had
from
to.
her.
And let me tell you
That's from
something.
her
She was saying,
standpoint,
look,
though.
she wasn't opening them legs unless he came with a ring. I got a homegirl now that she been proposed to 5 times. And she's like, she's waiting till marriage. Tell you something. That what you say that incentives is a huge incentive, bro. If you ain't getting
No,
it,
I'm
your
saying-
ass gonna bring a ring.
Are you kidding me, bro? And no way, especially not today. I'm not sitting on the sideline for 5 fucking years because you want to wait till we get married. I'll find somebody else. Like, to be quite honest, like now, like it's more women than men, at least in our community, and that's part of the problem too. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it allows men to be way more selective and way more arrogant. And I got a profession. I'm not about to get caught slipping. I done been there before. So yes, I'm not bullshitting with nobody. It's this way or it's no way. But it is. Like, I'm not waiting 5 years to get some pussy.
No, I wasn't talking about, I'm laughing at a sister said just to get some, not a relationship bond. Yeah, hey, relationship bond, but the incentives for people to get married. So, like, I mean, you got a combined income. What is the incentive for men to get married today?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out. Like, you making a damn. Who wants to get married if you're a man? There's only a downside.
But the odds of getting divorced are way too great now. I mean, women got so much incentive. Let me tell you, they don't ever have to work a day in their life. You can live on, it's way too many incentives. We are divided because the world is effed up. Yeah, we effed up. Just bad. Stay close to love and family, community. Marathon continues to sound like a modern day Muslim. What is the incentives today to get married? Knowing there's a 55% chance she's gonna divorce you. And why is it that 75% of the divorces are initiated by the woman? And I say it's because of the incentives on leaving. She got all the incentives. She's thinking about, like, damn, okay, wait a minute, I get this, I get that. Damn, should I just go divorce you and find another one? All right, you know what? By the way, I'm gone.
I don't know if it's really that easy.
Instagram groupie. Yeah, Dr. Dre did do that. That's what Dr. Dre did. A lot of celebrities do.
What do you do?
They grab an Instagram groupie because that Instagram groupie is spitting all that good stuff in their ear. Baby, I love you. I would do anything. You want me to bring a friend? You want me to stand on my head? How do you want it? When do you want it? They doing everything, and they got your slippers, your dessert, and so much more when you walk in that door. And Dr. Dre met her. She's like, "Oh, you Dr. Dre? Okay, cool. Let me get your slippers. You want it on my head? You want it on the floor? You want it on the bathroom? You want this? You want me to bring my friend? I got you." And he was like, "Baby, I love you. Marry me." But, people grow apart, though, so it's to have somebody to do life with.
At 24 years, bro, like
Yeah.
whatever happened, it was more the straw that broke the camel's back. And I don't know if Donna just being real on YouTube is right, but she said they only dated 4 months and got married, and that he was cheating on Michelle A when they got married. The fact that she stretched that shit out for 24 years, if that is the case, is some real fucking shit. Like kudos to you, because if he cheated on your ass and y'all got together, I'm pretty sure that cheating didn't stop. The nigga was just discreet about it. She didn't care. So it'd be different if like I said, in 2 years she wanted a divorce as opposed 24 years. Like, do what the fuck y'all want to do. I got no complaints about that one. Y'all kind of, and you know what?
She.
Let me address one more thing before you go. Tanya said we be wanting the cake, the ice cream, and the recipe. So do women. And y'all want that shit served up on a fancy ass china plate, and it's got to be room temperature, and the icing has to be your color. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because y'all want a nigga with the biggest dick, fuck the longest, make the most money, can beat up every nigga on the block, super nice to you and your mama, and you want the nigga that had the best car, the best house, and be super pleasant when need be. Like, you want the perfect man, and we supposed to take angry all the time or bonnets all the time. Like, stop it. That can go both ways. Just saying. My bad, bro.
All right, so what you guys are seeing on the screen is the YouTube chat. Those of you on Facebook, go to My Life in the Shy YouTube channel. Make sure you check out My Skin is My Sin on YouTube. Little do they know, they ain't no recipe, just a good woman. You. Hey, so I don't, man, look, I ain't saying I have the answers. It's just a difficult, man, to each his own, though. Somebody said okay, maybe 3 out of 5.
Right. That's what I'm laughing at.
So Donna say, usually a woman wants a divorce is because, so now you guys can call in. I do have the phone right here. Donna says, usually a woman wants a divorce because he was mentally or physically abusive. Adultery broke the commandment.
That and that adultery shit is who he fucked. If he fucked some broad that's broke and uglier than what his woman thinks she is, handled completely different than if he fucked some chick that his woman thinks look way better than her. Depends on how long y'all been together. Depends on how much y'all got going. Like, y'all just got married, he fucked somebody, she out. 10 years down the line and he fucked somebody that's the first time, she gonna think about that shit. She may be able to forgive you. Y'all got kids together, y'all got a house together, your whole lives is tied into one. That shit is a total, like people make it like it's cut and dry, and it really is not. It's situational, it's experience, it's wisdom, it's timing, and it's who it is.
Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna cut this live. Hey, shout out to everybody that chimed in. Shout out to my own boy Jobs from My Skin is My Sin. Make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe to Donna Just Being Real YouTube channel. She got a dope show. Everybody else that got shows, send them to me. I ain't saying I got the answers. I ain't saying I'm right, man. But I am right about the violence coming back to the home. How did we? I'm challenging everyone to think outside the box and talk to older individuals that are at least 75, 80. Talk to people outside the country and get their opinion. I ain't saying their opinion is right, but get their opinion on what's going on from the outside looking in. Same hardware, different software, somewhat. Same hardware, different software. You can ask anybody that comes from our motherland that lives in this country now and just get their opinion. Or ask somebody that's 75, 80 who's done 50 years with somebody and get their opinion. And get their opinion. Someone in a marriage, knowing their husband is cheating, praying he don't leave her. Hey, what happened to Till Death Do Us Part? Till death do us part. What happened to that?
Somebody and it said that I was a feminist coochie licker, and that's halfway right. I do lick some coochie, but don't fuck with no feminist. I'm gonna be honest with you. But like, I'm grown. I'm 48 years old. I should be eating pussy at this point.
I think so, brother.
I'm just saying.
I would hope so, brother. So you will be in that divorce column there, but you will be getting that young divorce. But
And well deserved.
all right, but my point is, at the end of the day, the incentive on staying married. One thing is, it's one thing to get married. All right, that's a huge step for a couple. The second is the incentives on staying married. So now, let me say, 75% of the divorces are initiated by the woman. If there was no incentives on leaving, if it was cheaper to keep him, she will. And we'll have more marriages lasting 40, 50 years. Nowadays, we look at a marriage as just a temporary, easy thing. Okay, cool, I'll marry him. I'll probably get a divorce, but so what? We'll see. Let's give it a whirl. True, that is a deal breaker. I say cheating is a deal breaker. So, nowadays, what's happening is like, okay, cool, I'll give it a whirl. If he mess up, I'm going to divorce his ass. Ain't no big deal. And I just take his ass to the cleaners. F it, let's do it. Let's get and so now we just like making, I don't know. Anyway, yo, I gotta get out of here. Shout out to everybody that's watching this show. I wanted to take a break from the violence and the negative topics we always talk about in our community and on My Life Inside YouTube channel. How many of y'all are tired of hearing about violence every day in Chicago? So we all down my timeline. Violence, 10 people shot, 30 people shot. This kid shot, 10-year-old shot, killed. A few people wrote me and they was like, man, our family don't want to see that. Seeing my loved one get killed every day is depressing.
I don't know how you do it, bro. Like, and not that it's like, so much better in Cleveland, but man, I feel bad for y'all in Chicago, bro.
Shout out to everybody. And you know what? And I think that everybody should be able to have a conversation. You don't have to agree, of course. You don't have to agree with everything I say, everything you say, everything each other say, but it's good to have that conversation and to think outside the box and to think a little bit better. Anyway, what's up, Torrance Smith? Make sure y'all check out my homeboy, Torrance Smith. We just about to get off though, bro. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. This is my motto here. This is
How long are you going to cry and blame your oppressor before you get up off your knees and do it your goddamn self?
So, at the end of the day, I think that violence, destruction in our communities comes back to the home. And what do we have? We have all 73 to 90% broken homes. And every negative statistic comes back to a broken home. We fix the home, we fix our communities.
Facts.
We fix the home, we fix our communities. Why is our home broken? I feel the incentives on leaving is breaking our homes. And the systemic racism, jail, all that other good stuff too. I wanted to talk about this particular topic. Anyway, make sure you guys, bro, you want to say something before I get out of here?
I think that the breakup of the family is a little. It's the society that we live in more so than the incentives. We want the quick everything now. We want food quickly. We want medicine quickly. We want a cure quickly. Everything's got to have a quick fix, and if we don't get that, we out. Same thing with relationships. We don't put the time into it. We want it to work immediately, and when it doesn't, we don't want to struggle a little bit. But make sure, like you said, go follow us on YouTube. My Skin Is My Sin. Look up the same name for the Facebook fan page. Show some love. We got shirts for sale for $20. Shipping is included. Hit me up. I do appreciate the time, the wisdom, and the opportunity from my brother Donald. and My Life in the Shy, man. And that's about it, man. Oh, check us out on Thursdays and Fridays. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're talking about hallucinogens.
Oh, wait
That
a
should be pretty
minute.
dope. Yeah, we got a brother coming on to talk about that. And Friday is pretty much we talk about whatever. And don't bring your kids on Friday. That's 9 p.m. Adults only.
Absolutely. I got a few other videos coming for you guys I'm working on now. They're coming after the looters. They're coming after those looters. All the people that was looting, they are now coming after every one of them. They're releasing license plates. They're releasing footage. I'm going to be bringing you guys that. Anyway, make sure you guys go to YouTube. Go to My Life in the CHI. My Life in the Shy. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video. Peace.